Hey everyone, Zion over here from Nintendo Life, and today we're here to share with you our reviews of The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons on the Game Boy Color. Now, both of these games have recently come to Nintendo Switch Online, so we thought it'd be fun to dig up our old reviews and share them with you in case if you've never played these games before or if it's been years like me. Both of these reviews were originally written by Patrick Elliot for NintendoLife.com, but were reworked into this video by me. Ever since The Legend of Zelda released on the NES, Nintendo has kept the franchise relatively close to its chest. The series creator, Shigeru Miyamoto, has had a hand in almost every release to date, and before the new millennium, Nintendo EAD handled development of each and every Zelda title. But when Nintendo wanted an all-new Zelda trilogy for the aging Game Boy Color, it reached out to Flagship, a Capcom development team specializing in creating game scenarios and story development. Originally conceived as a trilogy, Oracle of Ages and Seasons was each to be based on a single piece of the Triforce: courage, wisdom, and power. The games would each have a unique world and story, but could also be played together in any order via a code system, revealing an overarching storyline and extra boss battles. Implementing such a code system across 3 games proved to be too cumbersome, so with Nintendo and Flagship strapped for time, they scrapped the Courage game, transforming the remaining 2 into the Oracle games. Based off the wisdom element of the Triforce, The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages remains one of the most puzzle-heavy games in the series. That's because, like Ocarina of Time before it, the story jumps between 2 timelines. But unlike in Ocarina of Time, Oracle of Ages' time mechanic is central to the gameplay, requiring the player to constantly shift between past and present to solve puzzles and progress. This makes the simple act of navigating the world all the more entertaining, as you'll be manipulating time in order to change landscapes and to alter the present day. This power to travel through time comes from the Harp of Ages, an instrument that Link receives when Nehru, the actual Oracle of Ages, leaves it behind after becoming possessed by the evil sorceress Varin. In order to stop Varin from using Nehru's body to travel into the past and alter history, Link must use the harp to flip-flop between eras, enabling him to traverse areas that might have become impassable due to the ravages of time, but are easily overcome in the past. Like any good Zelda game, Link's powers are limited at first, allowing him to only activate portals to the past by playing the Tune of Echoes. In order to navigate across the timelines, the player must seek out more portals, which are frequently hidden, and this gives the player a solid reason to partake in one of the most beloved Zelda pastimes: cutting grass. Besides netting the player hearts and rupees, digging around in the dirt can also reveal these portals, which become increasingly harder to find as you progress. And this strong emphasis on exploration is addicting, largely thanks to the zany characters that inhabit the world of Oracle of Ages. The characters that drive the plot are lovably pure. Staples like Zoras and Gorons offer the expected levels of levity, but it's the characters unique to Oracle of Ages' story that really shine. One of the best examples of this has to be Nehru's overly idealistic bodyguard, Ralph, who, regardless of being painfully useless, is still seen frequently rushing into the next area ahead of Link. Then there's Queen Ambi, the leader of the past version of Labrina, who Varin transforms from a forlorn romantic to a deranged tyrant. There's also the pesky Maple, the daughter of Syrup, who steals items from Link and doles out some of the best treasures in the game. Dutiful adventurers will discover even more connections between characters, as new items open up areas that can fill in even more of the story. While some mainstay items return, the game can actually be completed without the player ever even obtaining them. That's because aside from acquiring items from dungeons and treasure chests, you can also embark on some side quests and trade with NPCs to gain new equipment. There are all sorts of new items for Link to use, like the ricocheting seed shooter, which can angle off walls to solve puzzles and activate distant switches. But if Link hopes to receive and upgrade each weapon in the game, he needs to explore the game's side stories across both eras. On top of this, there's a ring system that can augment Link's powers, adding an extra level of strategy to the game. Rings can increase attack power when life is low, boost your defense, and even transform Link into things like a like. Some rings will actually decrease your powers though, so make sure to get your rings appraised by the game's quirky snake training ring collector, Vasu. While many rings can be obtained from treasure chests, the rare ones are gained by playing games and planting gacha seeds, which grow treasure-bearing trees in the future, giving you even more incentive to explore the world. Aside from items, the Oracle games also introduce all new animal pals for Link to ride around on. Instead of Epona, there's Ricky, the boxing kangaroo, Dimitri, the swimming Dodongo, and the lovable Moosh, a big blue bear with comically tiny wings that grant him limited bursts of flight. These mounted segments are confined to just a few scenarios, some of which can be completely missed on a single playthrough, but they serve both as comic relief and a way for the game to shoehorn in additional puzzles. One instance has you rescuing Moosh from the Lost Woods, then using him later to traverse a previously impassable area to gather up some lazy carpenters, enabling them to finish a bridge and get you access to the next area. Graphically, the game certainly wasn't blazing any trails in 2001, partially due to the fact that it borrowed the engine used in Link's Awakening DX. Oracle of Ages shares many visual similarities with the Game Boy Color remake. Enemy sprites are reused and the color spectrum is rather limited. But nevertheless, the game still delivers an engrossing world thanks to the careful design of Labrina and the powerful dichotomy between time eras, with the past's dreary upheaval clashing with the colorful and cheerful present day. Now, Zelda games are well known for their boss battles, and Oracle of Ages doesn't disappoint. The bosses here are varied, intricate, and for the most part, fantastic. The first few may be a breeze, but later on, you'll have to use a slew of items and equipment to win. The limited interface can make this endeavor a bit messy, especially when you need to use multiple items in succession, as frequently pausing to remap your buttons really breaks up the action. Regardless, the strategies required to defeat later bosses may have you stumped for a bit, but figuring out the formula and overpowering your opponents feels as rewarding as ever. The story of Oracle of Ages wraps up nicely and comes to a satisfying end, but it's hinted that there may be one more thing to take care of. This brings us to the most unique aspect of the Oracle games: linking. After you complete one title, the player receives a code that can be entered when starting up the other. This not only adds a new final showdown, but also slightly alters each game's story. Oracle of Ages somehow feels both new and familiar at the same time. While many beloved Zelda tropes remain, the game still takes plenty of chances, many of which really pay off. Link may have already done some time traveling in Ocarina of Time, but in Oracle of Ages, it becomes the game's central aspect, making way for a puzzle-heavy adventure filled with colorful characters, interesting items, and a plot unlike those previously seen in the franchise. Link's Awakening may have given birth to this game's engine, but Ages feels like a game all its own. We here at Nintendo Life give The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages on the Game Boy Color a 9 out of 10. Where Oracle of Ages serves to highlight the puzzle elements of this classic design, Oracle of Seasons zeroes in on the action. Based on the power element of the Triforce, Oracle of Seasons goes for a much more straightforward adventure, keeping puzzles light and pitting Link against tougher enemies much earlier in the game. If you played this game second out of the two, you'll notice right off the bat just how much more aggressive and durable your enemies are compared to those found in Ages. While the combat doesn't really compare with the slick scuffles of Link's 3D quests, Oracle of Seasons certainly feels much more challenging than its handheld cousins. But while combat is enjoyable, the story fails to impress, especially when compared to Oracle of Ages. Set in the town of Holodrum, Link is summoned to the land by the Triforce, where he stumbles upon a girl named Din and her group of traveling performers. Soon after, an evil general named Onyx appears to reveal that Din is in fact the Oracle of Seasons. Casting Link aside, Onyx snatches Din away, which causes the land's seasons to plummet into chaos. With this, Link is tasked with setting the world back to normal, but after this initial introduction, the game fails to really develop the story much further. Oracle of Seasons is focused on combat, and as such, never really captures the kind of witty and charming storytelling found in Ages or other Zelda games. While both games do share some lovable characters like the witch Maple, the animal friends Dimitri, Moosh, and Ricky, Seasons' story falls a little flat. The overly to-the-point Maku tree serves mainly as a device to say, "I have a feeling the next dungeon can be found in the east." There are far fewer main characters, and the folks you do actually meet feel less developed. If you decide to play the games as a pair, the Oracle of Ages story will help enhance the otherwise lackluster narrative of Seasons' tale. Visually, though, Oracle of Seasons does have an upper hand over its linked counterpart. The world of Holodrum is far more vibrant, thanks to each screen having 4 distinct versions depending on the current season. From whitewashed winter blues to saturated summer greenery and auburn autumn colors, the visual variety on offer is fantastic. Shifting seasons causes slight environmental changes like vines that grow in summer or snow that piles up during winter, but these differences don't create many new obstacles or puzzles compared to the time shifting in Ages. Still though, they offer a nice visual range that gives you plenty of incentive to fully explore each area. Now, to gain more control over the seasons, you frequently return to Subrosia, a hidden underground land that serves as one of the more interesting aspects of Seasons' otherwise dull plot. After Onyx captured Din, the Temple of Seasons disappeared, or so everyone thought. It really just sank underground into Subrosia. Here, Link powers up the central item of the game, the Rod of Seasons, meaning you'll spend a lot of time interacting with Subrosians, the comical bunch of creatures that inhabit the land. These little fellas enjoy eating and bathing in lava, find politeness to be rude, and obsess over secrecy. These interspersed visits help to break up the narrative and offer some much-needed comic relief. If you're looking for a straightforward Zelda adventure, this battle-heavy quest is about as straightforward as it gets. Oracle of Seasons streamlines the franchise's formula to let challenging classic combat take center stage, but brings enough originality to keep it from feeling monotonous. There's a lot of incentive to play the Oracle games together, and if you play Seasons second, it adds interesting plot twists that enhance the bare-bones storytelling, and allows for crucial weapon upgrades that help immensely against the challenging end boss. It may not be as engrossing as Ages, but Seasons still offers up an old-school adventure that will feel fondly familiar to longtime fans of the franchise. We here at Nintendo Life give The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons on the Game Boy Color an 8 out of 10. If you'd like to check out our full written reviews, you can find those along with more news and information on the Legend of Zelda series over at nintendolife.com. Be sure to let us know in the comments down below which of the 3 animal companions of the Oracle series you think is the best. Dimitri, Moosh, Ricky, or do you think they're all pretty great? Let us know. And if you have more time and want to stick around with us, you can check out this video where I recently tried to take everyone's favorite horse, Epona, up to a sky island in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Did it work? Well, I guess you'll just have to watch the video and find out for yourself. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you again to Patrick for spending ages with these Oracle games. I'm Zion from Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you all next time.